a deep dive into Alan Wake 2, a quick review. Let me tell you something. How this game starts is out of place and very confusing. Even more when you get into the whole situation, what's going on, especially in this cutscene with Mr. Door and Alan Wake. It's so confusing, and this is like a quarter of the way through the game. But they just show you, and he's talking to him. Mr. Door has a big place in the game, which I was very surprised about, which you'll see in the DLCs or when you play it. But I was just more the fact of like, what the hell's going on in this part of the game? But you'll see, per se, later on. But I just wanted to introduce this little clip, just to give you an idea about like how the game is. And there's like an intermix of live action, like a TV style, and there's actually gameplay integrated with the whole topic of like how the game's supposed to be, and that was their whole intent when they made this game. And I feel they're eventually going to possibly have like a TV show involved too. But also they have like Old Gods of Asgard, which is like a musical group. They're like a Finland group, and they're involved with this game heavily too. And they make a lot of the music, which is involved a lot with this game, and also the background music for this video right now.
What? That's exactly what every reader will be asking. This book is mind-bending, cerebral. I mean, how would you describe it? An auto-fictional thought experiment? A horror story? A postmodern detective story?
Wait. This isn't right. I haven't written anything.
He's so hard.
Okay. You got me. Good prank. Very fun.
Now to the nitty-gritty. So this is me playing a saga. This is my gameplay. And this is like in the beginning. And see, you get attacked very quickly by one of the cult following people. And you see the light takes forever, and you see the little spots right there on his chest. That's where you have to like shoot quickly, but like it's just I kid you not, I was just firing a full blown round into this guy, and he was not dying. I kept missing a lot too, but it's very difficult though, especially if you never play like Alan Wake or types of games like this. But I eventually got him down. But this was like at the very beginning when I started recording the game. I didn't feel like doing a whole video segment on it because the game is very long, and I just felt it was going to take too much time. As you can see here, we're collecting trumpet pads and like little tidbits that are going to evolve into like what the game is. And like I said, this game you gotta scavenge a lot for like little things like guns and stuff. And you have like charms too. But when you pick up this piece of paper, this is when you go into the mine, like the mine place or whatever, and you have like a whole case board which gets bigger and bigger throughout the whole entire game, which is pretty cool because it's kind of like your detective mode in this whole perception of like Saga's mindset, but you're also trying to figure out what to do and apply it to the actual game itself, which is pretty cool and helps you solve the cases. And also there's little like side missions with Casey lunch boxes and that actually evolve into like a bigger thing later on in the game. As you can see here too, we're just matching more things onto the clipboard, the wall, to make it easier for us to solve the cases that we're trying to break down and figure out who killed who throughout the course of the game. But also it gets a little confusing at some points, but it gets a lot easier when you keep playing it. When you're playing this game, make sure you don't try to cut corners or skip things because you will get very confused. Trust me, I've been playing it for a while and I skipped some things and I have to go back and be like, oh, did I miss something that was important? Especially with the whole wall presentation of like the actual case itself. Now, I thought this part was pretty cool because this is like where you actually you profile your suspects. So you have like Agent Nightingale that's comes back into the whole story from the first one if you ever play the first one, but you kind of like depict the like, oh, why did he get picked as the person to be like sacrificed, which I found is a cool like little concept because you kind of think like, oh, let's see, why are we thinking about it? It's like the first 48 if you ever watch this show where like the crime detectives trying to figure out why the person murdered him and stuff like that, which I found to be pretty cool and unique. And also, when you figure out the profiling, it lets you figure out, like, I wonder why this is all happening with the story. And then after that, you just continue on. But I just wanted to show you some of the gameplay before I got into the nitty-gritty about my video. But yeah, that's pretty much Bright Falls, and you find eventually, well, I will not say who it is. Is it Alan Wake, or do you find somebody else? But you'll see, because I don't want to spoil. But as you can see here in this part of the gameplay that I was showing, you have to go back to the general store. You have to go run around back to certain spots. It kind of gets annoying at some points, because like it's a circling, and I'm just like, all right, can we just continue on with the story? Because I think there's a point later on towards the end of the game you actually have to come back here as well too, which is very annoying. But you know, that's just how games are now. It's very circular, you know. Guys, we're back with the YouTube channel. I haven't updated here in a while, but you know, I've been trying to actually game and play some games recently. But as of recently, I've actually finished Alan Wake 2 finally. And I've been seeing some videos about like the Alan Wake Collector's Edition and stuff, and I just wanted to kind of clarify some things I've been seeing on the internet about it. And also, I'd like to give you a little bit of a review about the game too. But we're going to get into that into 1 second. I'm going to actually show you what the actual Collector's Edition looks like and what comes with it too. So, the Collector's Edition. There's a few parts to it. There's the actual Collector's Edition, which is this for the original Alan Wake, which I already did on unboxing, which I'm not going to go into depth about again. There's a strategy guide, which is right here, which is like produced by Microsoft Studios and by Remedy and stuff. Comes with all the little tidbits where to pick up all the manuscripts and all those little things in the game and all the thermoses. And then there's a limited edition, kind of like a book, which looks like this. So in this book, it's basically just telling you how they made the game and like where they got the design for the character concepts and throughout the whole journey about like what the game actually is. And actually it goes through every episode, like 1, 2, I think 8, I think. I'll tell you right now. It goes all the way to the last episode. I think it's episode 9? I believe so. But they have like Barry in here, they show you how he got his concept and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. This is kind of hard to find, but what's kind of funny is though this is becoming very hard to find now too, and people are like upselling the price for it for some reason now, because everybody wants it now since the second game just like came out. They had all the DLCs with it. I just like to state that I saw a video regarding about the Collector's Edition about Alan Wake, how it used to be owned by Microsoft back in like 2010, and I think they sold the rights off to Remedy and they gave them back the whole IP address. But supposedly the reason why that Microsoft did not want to give it back to them was because it was more of a funding problem from what I was reading online. But also Sam Lake has stated in like multiple interviews that Microsoft did own the rights to it still, but they were also still developing a sequel with Microsoft intended to actually help publish it. But then Microsoft just gave it back to them. They're like, you guys can do with whatever you want with it. But what is very interesting though is that Quantum Break, which is still owned by Microsoft, and that Remedy still can make the game, but they can't really say there's any correlation to actually the Alan Wake universe, because if you play the newest Alan Wake game, or Alan Wake 1, American Nightmare, or just this Control, or just Quantum Break, they kind of allude that Quantum Break's connected to all the other worlds, with some of the characters kind of like popping up, but there's a lot of references to things, but they can't technically say that it's correlated to the actual Alan Wake universe because of the whole thing with Microsoft actually owning it. And the sales for the first one did pretty good. The second one didn't do that great from what I was reading from the past few months now. But there's a big peak of interest, especially in Reddit pages that I've been seeing, in subreddit pages. But I have to say though, the game was pretty good. It was just super hard though. So as somebody who's been a very big Rockstar fan, and also as well as a Max Payne fan, Alan Wake 2 is like probably the best game I played in probably the past few years now, since playing Spider-Man, the Spider-Man 2 game that came out for the PS5 recently. Alan Wake 2 is up there right now, probably like top 5 games I ever played. The game is very well drawn, and it gives you a very Resident Evil vibes. It's hard at some points. There's some bosses that are very annoying. I have to say, the whoever does the technical aspect for the whole boss battles, they really got to revamp that, because it's just a pain in the ass. I pretty much almost platinumed the game. I missed a few platinums playing it because there's some things I got to go back and do, but like the Nightmare mode. But I have to say, excuse me, the game is very well drawn with the whole storyline, the plot, the setting.
The only thing I did not like probably was the boss battles and kind of like rummaging around Bright Falls. Because there's some parts to it that it's very hard to see things. And this is me. I spaced out playing this game for a long time since it came out in October because it's just very long and you need a very big time commitment to play it. But it's very well drawn out. The map's very big and diverse. There's a lot of like snippets of the old Alan Wake game, Control especially, which Control I'm playing again. But also now there's going to be a big peak of interest, especially since the DLCs came out. The DLCs are really good. There's one more DLC coming out, I think, later on next month or later on sometime this year. But if you all did not play this game yet, I highly recommend it. There's a physical copy coming out in October via Limited Run Games is doing the collector's edition, as well as GameStop and other places are doing the actual physical copy of the game, like GameStop and all these like Amazon, you know. But the thing that's which I'm kind of disappointed in is that how this game ended, and I'm not saying how it ended, but the ending of it, I was not a big fan of because it kind of left it with another cliffhanger as they did with the first one, and I just really can't with these cliffhangers anymore. I know they're probably going to continue a little bit because there's a big connection with Control in it, but I just feel the whole it's just ridiculous. I can't stand the whole like cliffhanger endings with games anymore, or just movies. It's like the same concept. Everybody's like, we're gonna leave it a cliffhanger, add some DLCs, tell you what happens next. Even the DLCs that I played, the 3 that came out with it, they don't really tell you what happens to Alan at the end of the game, as well as Saga. But I'm not, like I said, I'm not spoiling what's gonna happen with like what I can see the intent is, though, that Control 2 is probably going to connect somehow. But also, like, Remedy is also working on Max Payne 1 and 2 remaster. And that's another big thing, too. In this game, there's like I think it's towards the middle when you're playing Alan's story, there's a big, like, section with James McCaffrey, like, talking as, like, Alex Casey in the game. But it's, like, him as Max Payne, basically. And it's, like, alluding, I'm like, so is Max Payne connected in this universe? Like, I know Max Payne's totally separate, but how they intended it with this is like, I feel like Alan might have wrote the Max Payne story too, because of like how Alex is Casey's character in the game. It's kind of like he's kind of Max Payne in a way. It's kind of weird. I mean, if you played the game and if you notice what I'm talking about, it's like kind of alluding me to like replay the Max Payne 1 and 2, because I know Sam Lake did a really good job writing this, but like I said, it was just so long at some point. Some points could have been cut out, but I see why they do this with the game, because I mean the last game came out over maybe like 13 years ago. It came out in 2010, but I have to say though, excuse me, they did a really good job with it. If you get a chance to play it. It's worth it. DLCs are gonna be out soon. They're probably gonna do, I think they're gonna probably do like a year edition. I don't know. Maybe they will, or maybe they'll do a whole nother like DLC like they did with American Nightmare, because American Nightmare only came out for the 360 at the time, and like now you currently can play it on the Series X. You can buy it on the Microsoft store, like on the Xbox store, and you can also play it on there. But they don't have it for like the PS3 or anything like that though. But because I think only came out for Xbox. So make sure you guys check it out, and I believe it's on Steam too. To say though, with the DLCs that came out with like the whole Night Springs expansion, the whole combat mechanisms with like more bullets, better weapons, and kind of like a little bit more updates with like the characters, the flow of it felt like it felt like the original Alan Wake games. If you played the original one for the Xbox 360 or on Steam or whatever you played it on, it was more connected with that whole gameplay style as compared to actually playing Alan Wake's 2 storyline. It felt like more of a Resident Evil 2 type and 3 type vibe to it, and that's what I really got from it, which made it really difficult. And I'm not gonna lie, there's a part in the game, I think her name's like Cynthia, she's like an old crazy like lady in the game. That part scared the crap out of me. And mind you, I don't really get scared playing like horror games that much, like Resident Evil and them, like maybe Resident Evil 2 with Mr. X. Like that scared me, but like in this game, it like they like just jump scare you at random spots, which made it a really traditional horror game in my opinion. And I feel like you guys should really check out the DLCs and check out the parts I'm talking about. Even if you get the game on sale, it's really worth it. Worth the price and time playing. It really gives a different perspective on like how Resident Evil games are, and it gives you that whole different vibe to it too. Remedy did a great job with the game. People keep talking about like, oh well, you know, this and that, blah blah blah. Don't listen to it. Try the game out yourself. It's worth it, and it's really fun. And make sure you guys check out for these little collector things, like Alan Wake's for this, that, collect like the, and I'm just gonna show you because I already did another video, but it's still pretty cool. But Like, look, this is like signed by Alan Wake, which is, I think it's kind of funny, but this is like an old piece. It's from like when it came out. I'm telling you, it's getting hard to find, and you know what happens with these games usually? They'll get like really big, and then everybody's gonna be like, oh, I need to get like saturate the market. I need to get like, you know how it is with how gaming is right now. And make sure you guys check out for the thermos that came with Alan Wake 2, which I can't find anywhere. Make sure you guys pre-order the game, especially if you want the collector's edition. But make sure you guys also check out my page, my YouTube, my TikToks, and my Twitter as well. And before I go, the stuff I'm wearing today, I have an Uncharted hat, which is from like when the movie came out. I think it was like last year or 2 years ago, whenever it came out. And I have a Red Dead Redemption 2 shirt. This is actually official Rockstar merchandise. Has the old tag right here, you can see. If you can come in the zoom. But yeah, pretty cool outfit for today. Make sure you guys check out. Every video I'm gonna try to do, I'm gonna have some type of different shirt on, or just like kind of keep it like, you know, like this stuff. But make sure you guys like, subscribe. Thank you for checking out my channel, and I hope you guys check out Alan Wake 2. Bye bye.